Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of my opinion on the state of AI in racing games, this time on the excellent Raceroom. Went with a multi-class Formula Raceroom X-17 against the Formula US, which is more like an Indy car I'd say. I've never driven Daytona, but I do like a Roval. I settled on a difficulty of 108 out of 120, but there is adaptive AI also, which I haven't tried yet. I've kept it the same as part 1 with a 5-minute qualifier, which I'm in now trying to improve on my 126.8, and a 10-lap race. I'll let you enjoy the sounds of this Formula Raceroom. It's not the hardest car I've ever had to learn. There's a bit of patience needed on the throttle out of corners, or it squirms or spins out. Second gear seemed better out of some, even though there's more traction in third, but there was also a bit of a lag in third as well, so it's trying to find that balance. Okay, so I went with a rolling start as the few goes I'd had at standing with this car did not go well at all. I have no assists on and it just kept spinning out. With trying various throttle inputs, short shifting, nothing seemed to work, so I went with a rolling start. I had to restart a few times when I was getting to grips with the physics and trying to learn the AI behaviour, which ultimately led to my race being ruined. I wanted to make this as realistic as possible and get a clean race done, or as clean a race as I could get it. I was starting to get a sense of what they were going to do, 9 times out of 10 I'd say. There's times where you'll see me outbrake them on corners, but sometimes I had to brake hard to avoid contact. There is also contact at times, but you can just carry on, as opposed to me being sent spinning or into a barrier. We'll get into the damage more a little later, but I have it on full. I managed to gain 1 position during this first lap, and this is an example of a good chase I was having with them. Take a look bottom right at the speed this Formula car hits, and DRS is approaching soon. You get 3 shots at a DRS boost at a time. The DRS plays a big part in defining this race. I'll leave it play for a little while so you can see the AI behaviour like I was mentioning before also. love these chases, and in this car it's just so immersive hunting them down, and defending's great too. Lap 3 is when DRS is available, and that was a position gained and lost a few times, as you saw, due to my heavy braking to avoid smashing into them and losing some time. It's just an example of what you can do with this car, having to rely on slipstreams, but you'll see the difference when DRS kicks in. I'd made my decision to activate DRS on the upcoming bank section approaching the chicane. I always kept it in mind to deactivate it for the actual chicane and reactivate it on exit. It works out well, and you can gain a great speed increase, as you'll see. A great little battle there, but my mistake was not knowing exactly where he was and missing my braking point. I was so happy I managed to avoid a wipeout and had the confidence to chase him down again to try and take the position back. As far as simulation goes, there's elements of full sim, but also a few elements of simcade, I think. I wasn't sure how to check for tyre wear, as I just wanted to check what the game had to offer in an out-of-the-box experience, if you like to just pick it up and get racing. I did have a bit of a lock-up on turn 1, and was aware that my tyres were starting to wear. Fuel usage and tyre wear was left on, but they can be multiplied if you like. But like I said, this was just to see what the game was like to pick up and not worry about any of that just yet. I also disabled the mandatory pit stop. The upcoming part going into turn 1 is what I mentioned earlier about damage. It is on full, but you see me get on the throttle a little early and smash into a wall. The 4 car elements in the bottom right corner seem to let you have one big hit and you get away with it, but a second can damage your car badly, and one of them will turn red and you lose the ability to control the car significantly. I honestly think it's good enough to forgive it though, as the experiences of fun, exciting one far outweighs the bad in my opinion. It all depends what you're looking for in a racer, I suppose. The upcoming part where I'm fighting for P1 is another example on the bank section again. I misjudged how banked it is, along with the boost of DRS on it, and settles the car badly, and there's a contact again, but it could be seen as just a coming together of tyres and I get away with it. So yeah, that's the move done and into P1. We'll have a bit of a change now, and just to show you some of the director's footage in the replay. It just flips from car to car, so you'll get to see the Formula US cars as well as the other X-17s. My race continues at the top. It is quite entertaining when you watch it back. You can make of it what you will, as there are mistakes, but it can be forgiven, I think, as it's a great experience and you don't really notice all that going on unless you're amongst it all, of course. We'll rejoin my race now, and as you can see, P2 is wanting his position back, and there's a good example of the difference in speed between the X-17 and Formula US. You may also have noticed that there's 17 cars in our class. That was my mistake, as there's 32 of us on the track, and I ended up giving us one extra instead of the US car. Raceroom, in my opinion, is excellent. I've had the game in my library for some time, but the first time I played it, it didn't go too well, as I was losing the back end of the car quite a lot and it felt like I wasn't doing anything wrong. It could have been because I wasn't very good at setups back then, but I don't notice it at all now, even with the cars I've tried on the default setup. I just think they were aware of the problem and fixed it in an update. I might be wrong. The force feedback is excellent out of the box, the UI is very modern and the graphics are superb. If you have a PC, give it a go. It's free to try on Steam, of course. There's a few cars and tracks to get you started, and they are reasonably priced, singularly or collectively in packs. I wasn't interested in buying anything singularly for it though. I wanted everything they had to offer in the premium pack, and I also used VRP, which are virtual race points, and that's just their in-game currency, and it gives you a huge discount on their DLC. Excellent. Going back to what I was saying about content, there's certainly enough to keep you entertained. Another great feature is they let you try out each car before you buy it, but they can only be tested on a variant of their excellent fictional Raceroom Raceway. Drop a like and a sub if you enjoyed the video, it'll really mean a lot. Any questions, please ask in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.